Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Monday, the 31st day of July, 2023, Monday of the 17th week of the year. The 17th week in Ordinary Time is also a day in which we honor the memory of St. Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits. So a happy feast day to all the Jesuits in the Diocese of Raleigh, who serve in the Diocese of Raleigh, and again, the entire community of the Society of Jesus throughout the world. Special readings for Ignatius, because it is his feast day, but our readings for today also can help us understand what's going on and what's happening in the movement of the lectionary through the year. The first reading, Exodus. Moses has been given the law. It's on tablets written front and back, it says. So a lot of things that are on those tablets. But Moses hears the revelry in the camp. Once he comes down from the mountain, asks Joshua what it is. And they go down to look at what it is. And it is the golden calf, and the people prancing around and dancing around this golden calf that has been erected because they think that Moses has gone up to the mountain and has been lost forever with the thunder and the smoke and the fire and everything else that God is doing up there. Moses in anger smashes those tablets that had more than perhaps just 10 statements on them. And basically he condemns Aaron, who was the one who was responsible for creating the calf. And Aaron basically tries, to blame other people, pass the blame on, by saying, well, they're all evil, and so they made me do this. And again, Aaron, who was the mouthpiece for Moses, because I guess he stuttered before Pharaoh. And Aaron was the one who had to talk, to Pharaoh and tell Pharaoh what it is that God wants. Aaron creates this mess. So the calf is then melted down, created ashes, and the people are condemned to drink from it. Moses looks for some kind of punishment for them, and God says, don't worry, I will take care of them in my own time. So again, we'll see what happens. But again, this is where people want things their own way, and they want things, again, in the immediacy of their own lives, and they go about trying to create, what it is that they understand God to be, and yet God is not who we think God is. And that's always important for us to remember. When we don't try to understand who and what God is, we tend to create other gods who could never ever supplant or replace, the one God who brings hope and mercy and justice and freedom into our lives. Israel is suffering from that immediately in this whole relationship with God, and yet God still doesn't give up on them. Again, this whole idea of punishment and what will happen is the punishment. We'll see, but God still doesn't give up on this people who basically can be so fickle and so misunderstanding of what it is that God is trying to do for them. In the Gospel today, we kind of just have a recap of the past Sunday's readings in this cycle of Matthew that we are in this weekday. So the parable of mustard seed, the parable of the yeast. Again, this idea that God works through small means, not great means. And that's sometimes very hard for us to comprehend and hard for us to understand, because we want, in this present modern age, the greatness right away. And we don't have the patience and the time to see how the small grows. But yet, this is how God works throughout what is small in our lives, throughout that which may be misplaced or neglected or misunderstood or not understood in the proper way, or even pushed to the margins. That is where God is working greatness. That is where God is working wonder. That is where God is working for the transformation of our world. To be attentive to the small things in our life means that we are attentive to where God is working in our lives. And that allows us to see the wonder and the glory of God in our midst. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.